Hi friends! Shall we take another fun trip through Korean history today? Today, in the 5th episode of Infinite Korean History, we learn about Gwanggaeto the Great of Goguryeo. You've heard of him before, right? He's one of the most important persons to remember in Korean history. Shall we begin his story? First, we need to know what kind of country Goguryeo was. Initially, Goguryeo was founded in a place called Julbon near the Amnok River. The land there was barren and the plains were not wide, making it difficult to farm. Moreover, there were large nations nearby, making it hard to expand their territory. Later, Goguryeo left the narrow land of Julbon and moved its capital to nearby Gwanggaeto. Gwanggaeto was excellent for defending the nation as it was surrounded by mountains and rivers.
Gwanggaeto seems like a much better place to live than Julbon.
However, life was still tough for the Goguryeo people, who had to survive by hunting or raiding surrounding areas. As this lifestyle repeated, the Goguryeo people naturally developed exceptional combat skills. Goguryeo tough national spirit was born from this harsh environment.
Sorry, but raiding is essential for our survival.
You'll never be able to dodge my arrow.
While Goguryeo was developing steadily, a time of trial arrived. A Chinese state called Former Yan, which shared a border, invaded Goguryeo. Facing the powerful force of Former Yan, King Goguryeo, the king of Goguryeo at the time, was forced to abandon the capital, Gwanggaeto, and flee. During this time, the grave of King Goguryeo's father was dug up, and many people, including the queen and the king's mother, were taken as hostages.
Because our country is weak, we are being dragged away like this.
I will surely have my revenge one day.
King Goguryeo sought a solution to restore his crushed pride. He decided to attack Baekje, ruled by King Conqueror. However, at that time, Baekje was in its golden age, having occupied the Han River. King Goguryeo underestimated Baekje, so eventually he lost his life in battle. Now, the fate of Goguryeo was in a perilous state. How did Goguryeo overcome this crisis? The first story of Gwanggaeto. King Sosurim. Following King Goguryeo, King Sosurim ascended the throne. He was the son of King Goguryeo. His heart was full of a desire for immediate revenge against Baekje. However, he thought deeply about what was truly best for Goguryeo. What decision did he make?
Right now, rebuilding the nation is more important than revenge.
King Sosurim decided to first build up Goguryeo's internal strength. He believed it was necessary to unite the nation's power. At that time, Goguryeo was a confederation of various tribes. In such a state, the king's power was weak, making it hard to gather the nation's strength. So he set out to reorganize the foundations, religion, law, and education centered around the king. He judged that national stability was more important than war at that moment.
Wait just a little longer. Your father will bring some food.
Is there a way to regain the strength of our nation?
King Sosurim first introduced Buddhism from China. At that time, each tribe in Goguryeo believed in different religions. King Sosurim thought that if all tribes believed in Buddhism, the hearts of the people would be united. Furthermore, in Buddhism, there was a concept that the king is the Buddha, which helped strengthen the king's authority.
I shall follow and believe in the Buddha.
He also proclaimed the Yulyeom to stabilize the country. Yulyeom refers to the laws and rules that all citizens must follow. Previously, laws and rules differed by region, so there was often disputes.
From this day forward, all citizens shall follow the Yulyeom.
Lastly, King Sosurim valued education. He introduced Confucianism from China, which emphasizes loyalty and filial piety. He also established a school called Taek to teach Confucianism. The students who studied there became excellent talents for the nation.
You must be loyal to your country and be filial to your parents.
Through Buddhism, Yulong, and Thea, King Sosurim achieved strong royal authority.
The royal power has certainly become stronger.
Thanks to King Sosurim's efforts, the nation quickly regained stability. However, there was a problem even his efforts could not solve. He had no son to become the next king. Fortunately, his younger brother had a son, so he relieved his worries. This child's name was Tamdok. King Sosurim asked his brother to raise Tamdok well, as Tamdok was the future of Goguryeo. Shortly after, he passed away after bequeathing the throne to his brother.
Finally, a boy who will continue our royal lineage has been born.
I shall name the child Tamdok.
King Goguryeo, who was King Sosurim's brother, raised his son Tamdok magnificently. Tamdok was brave and especially skilled in archery. Meanwhile, King Goguryeo, after suffering defeat in successive attacks by the later Yan and Baekje, wasted away and eventually died. Tamdok, now a young man, swore before his father's death that he would make Goguryeo a strong nation that no one could look down upon. Upon ascending the throne, he became Gwanggaeto the Great.
Please make Goguryeo a strong nation.
Yes, Father.
The second story of Gwanggaeto, the Great King. Taewang. Taewang, which means Great King in English, is a title given only to the greatest of kings. As the greatest conqueror in Korean history, there was one king in Goguryeo who was uniquely titled Great King. That was Gwanggaeto the Great. How did he come to be called that?
I am the great King Gwanggaeto.
We'll be in trouble if we underestimate him just because he's a young king.
Gwanggaeto the Great ascended the throne at the young age of 18. As soon as he became king, he proudly announced before his officials and the people,
I shall use the era name Yongnak, signifying the eternal happiness of the people. I will ensure no nation looks down upon our Goguryeo, and I will reclaim the past territories of old Joseon.
The officials and the people were all surprised by the young king's bold ambition.
Where does such confidence come from?
Gwanggaeto the Great's words were no empty boast. Shortly after, he led 40,000 men to attack Baekje.
Let us avenge my grandfather.
The king of Baekje was terrified by the repute that Gwanggaeto was a genius of war and couldn't even launch a proper counterattack. Thus, Gwanggaeto swiftly captured 10 Baekje fortresses.
What? Our Baekje fortresses have fallen?
A few months later, he attacked Gwanmisong, a fortress surrounded by water and cliffs on all sides. Gwanmisong was a vital center for Baekje's trade and diplomacy. Finally, Gwanggaeto the Great occupied Gwanmisong as well.
We have even taken the natural stronghold, Gwanmisong.
Now, Baekje's capital, Hansong, was in a position where it could be attacked at any time. Thus, Gwanggaeto the Great's first expedition was a perfect victory. But his war of conquest was just beginning. Around this time, East Asia suffered from failed harvests due to extreme weather. The weather had suddenly turned cold. So many people suffered from hunger. This was the same for nomadic tribes like the Khitan living near Goguryeo. Consequently, the Khitan entered Chinese lands and began raiding ruthlessly. Gwanggaeto the Great did not just stand by. He attacked the Khitan and rescued Goguryeo people who had been taken as slaves.
They said he was in Baekje territory. When did he come up here?
He also brought back cattle, horses, sheep, and salt to distribute among his people. The people's love for Gwanggaeto the Great grew day by day. That's because they knew his promise to keep them safe and happy was true.
I will surely protect my people.
The great king Gwanggaeto has saved us. Long live the king.
Now, centered around the great king, the people of Goguryeo were united more firmly than ever. Finally, the curtain on Goguryeo golden age began to rise. After settling the chaotic situation in the north, Gwanggaeto attacked Baekje once again. He used the strategy of attacking across the Han River by land while simultaneously attacking Baekje from the sea. When Goguryeo cavalry reached the Baekje capital, the Baekje soldiers were busy fleeing. Finally, the king of Baekje knelt before Gwanggaeto the Great and declared he would forever be a subject of Goguryeo. He was finally able to avenge his grandfather, King Goguryeo.
It's the invincible Goguryeo army. Let's run!
Now Goguryeo occupied all the land north of the Han River. Then he began to conquer the northern nations one by one. By conquering the Khitan, Sushan, and later Yan, the entire regions of Manchuria and the Primorsky Krai became Goguryeo territory. It was at this moment that the greatest conquering monarch of Goguryeo was born. His name was Gwanggaeto the Great.
Why has Goguryeo suddenly become so strong?
Now, all of this is Goguryeo land.
That's all for this video. What do you think? The achievements of Gwanggaeto the Great as a young man are truly remarkable, aren't they? Today, we looked at the situation in Goguryeo before Gwanggaeto was born. We also learned how King Sosurim strengthened the nation's foundation by introducing Buddhism, creating the Yulyeong, and establishing the Daeak. Thanks to those efforts, Gwanggaeto the Great was able to fulfill his dreams, avenging his grandfather by attacking Baekje and conquering various nations like the Khitan who harassed his people. Next time, we will explore more of Gwanggaeto the Great's achievements. Look forward to it. See you in the next video. Bye.